Sacrifice, guilt, revenge. These are the three main components of Power Rangers Once and Always. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. So, Power Rangers Once and Always has been out roughly about 2 weeks now. And like everybody, I myself was very, very excited to see just exactly what this story was about. There was a lot of theories, there was a lot of, talk going on of what the story could be, how things were probably going to fold out, and stuff like that. I myself had a few theories and stuff. Now, of course, all of my theories turned out not to be true. But then also at the same time, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fans and theorists out there who did kind of predict some things going on. And so, without further ado, let's get right on into Power Rangers 30th anniversary once and always. Now, before we get into the video, if this is your first time here on my channel, thank you guys for coming to spend a little bit of time with me. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up because it does help the channel out a lot. And also hit that notification bell so that you guys can get alerted for content just like this every week. So, with Power Rangers Once and Always, it is the 30th anniversary of when the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers first aired back in 1993. And so when we got word that they were doing a 30th anniversary special, we all, it's kind of scrattled about trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? How are they going to do this story? All of that. Now, we did get confirmation that David Yost, as well as Walter Emmanuel Jones, who respectfully played Zach, as well as Billy, they were returning. And so, because we thought that it was going to be Mighty Morphin with the original cast coming back, minus Twee Trang, who tragically passed away to a car accident back in 2001, we all thought that uh, Jason Frank, who played Tommy, Austin St. John, who played Jason, as well as Kimberly, played by Amy Jo Johnson, were going to actually come back for this reunion special, but turns out that they didn't. And so now a lot of people were wondering why. Well, Austin St. John, who plays Jason, he did get into a little bit of, legal trouble. So come to find out that because they were filming in New Zealand, right now he's not able to leave the country. Jason David Frank, before he passed away, he was approached to do the 30th anniversary, but he did decline, saying that he wanted to focus more on his Soul of the Dragon movie. And he did state in a interview that he was done completely with the Power Rangers franchise. And then also with Amy Jo Johnson, she didn't say no, but she didn't say yes either. And so a lot of people assume that, it has something to do with money because that's what the issue was back in the day. But she did come out on Twitter. It was either Twitter or Instagram, I believe. And so she did say it has nothing to do with money. Maybe I just don't want to, be a part of it. Maybe I'm too old to be, you know, in spandex. Maybe I want to focus on my music career, something along those lines. And so now, when it comes to the story, they did play everything, to a very good extent because we did get Karen Ashley to come back as Aisha, as well as Johnny Young Bach to come back as Adam. We got Steve Cardenas to once again come back as Rocky, as well as Catherine Sutherland to come back as Kat. And so now, where the story gets interesting at was that we are also introduced to Charlie Kirsch, who plays the role of Min Kwan, who is Trini's daughter. And so, where we actually start off with is that now, mind you, just for is Power Rangers. And so, of course, there's going to be a lot of campiness, but at the same time, because Netflix was the one that picked this up, it was a little bit more darker as well as a little bit more mature, had a more mature tone, right? So, of course, the story picks up with already in the middle of the battle. and it's Rita along with Billy. Now, of course, we have Robo Rita, and so that's where one of the theories came in at of, who is Robo Rita? How, did she come about? And so we all, just theorized and whatnot. Then come to find out, all of our theories is just completely wrong, right? So right in the middle of the battle is just Rita as well as Billy. And so he did call everybody. So, of course, the original five Rangers, they do come to the rescue, as well as Tommy in his original Green Dragon form. So the battle's going on, everybody's fighting the putties, and so Billy himself is fighting Rita. Well, Rita decides that she's going to charge this energy blast and fire it off at Billy. This is where the sacrifice aspect comes in at, because Trini literally saw the attack coming and then literally jumps in front. Now, it's not like she didn't had she got thrown off the cliff or anything like that. Like the energy beam literally picked her up, engulfed her, and just disintegrated. Like Trini's body was just gone. Whatever she, like her suit, her helmet, whatever she was wearing before she morphed, that is just gone. And so that's where the sacrifice comes in at, because Trini saw her teammate in trouble and went to protect and save her comrade. And so that is exactly how they wrote Tweet Trang's character Trini off in the series. And I actually thought that it really was a good way to, honor honor Trini's actress, as well as how they did it in the story. A lot of people thought that they were just gonna write Tweet Train off, kill her off set or behind the scenes, or something like that. But they actually wrote it in that made a lot of sense, and I'm actually happy that they did it like that. Now, where the grief comes in at is that we didn't, learn about Min, Trini's daughter. A lot of us, assumed that, the Power Rangers after the Rangers, left left the field and they passed their powers on. They grew up, did, they actually became adults, did everything like a normal adult would, and then they wind up having children, and so they, of course, told their children of, their past lives. Well, come to find out, that theory was incorrect, because come to find out, uh, now we know that Kat and Tommy has a son named JJ, and we learned about this back in Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, their special dimensions in danger. We know about JJ, and then Kat also makes a couple of references about JJ in the special. So we know that one of the or two of the Rangers, have a child, and so we then learn that Trini has a child, Min. Well, Min never knew of her mother's past. And so we know that, Min knows of, knows who, of course, Billy and Zach is. Obviously might know who Tommy, Kat, Rocky, everybody else is, and stuff like that, but just never knew that they were former Power Rangers. So, of course, this is where it gets to the more adult toned, because one of the campiness that Power Rangers always had was that when they were talking about death or anything like that, they wouldn't say kill, they'll say destroy. And so, of course, it's made mention like several times and whatnot, like a good amount of times, that the word kill was mentioned and whatnot. And I do think that they just kind of went, I don't want to say a little bit overboard, but they, let it be known like, yes, in this universe, the main continuity universe, you're going to die, you're going to get killed. So, of course, we find out that Billy somehow comes back from Aquatar. Now, we don't know exactly how long Billy has been back on Earth, but if you guys remember back in Power Rangers Zeo, Billy wind up aging very, very fast. And so he goes to Aquatar to regain his actual youth. Now, it's made now Sestra from Aquatar is mentioned in one at the end of the special, but we never really quite, it never was stated how Billy got back, when he got back, how long he's been back on Earth, stuff like that. But he did start a company and everything called Cranston Tech. And so he rebuilt the command center. It's all modified, stuff like that. And so we also find out that Zach winds up becoming a congressman. And so obviously, a lot of people just theorize that after the peace treaty back when Jason and Trini, left for that peace conference, Zach might have, decided, hey, I know what I want to do once I graduate, so he becomes a congressman. And so the two of them, Billy and Zach, are actually, not necessarily arguing, but trying to figure out how do we tell men that their mother is dead. And so, of course, they're trying to go back and forth. Billy's like, no, we need to tell her the truth. Zach's like, no, we need to figure something else out. But Billy winds up saying out loud, we need to tell men that her mother was killed by Rita Repulsa, or Rita Repulsa killed her mother, not knowing that men just walked in the door to hear them. And so, of course, she drops her bags and then runs off. And this is, the grief aspect. Men, finds out that her, I guess you could say her surrogate family, you know, Jason, Zach, Billy, all of them, they were former Rangers as well as her mom. And so, she pretty much wants to seek revenge. And this is where the revenge aspect comes in at. Now, we find out where Robo Rita came from. One of my theories was that remnants of the Machine Empire from Power Rangers Zeo survived all this time waiting and plotting to exact their revenge. And that's, where Robo Rita came from. And then somehow downloaded Rita's information, and that's how we got Robo Rita. Well, come to find out that when Andros basically destroyed Zordon's tube and released the Z Wave back in Countdown to Destruction of Power Rangers in Space, the Z Wave, it didn't necessarily destroy all evil. Now, hence why you still got evil coming in to all the seasons later. But what the evil did was that it basically exiled the evil from the good and everything and split them apart. So that's why Divatox, Zed, and Rita were turned human. And so come to find out that their evil essence is still within the universe. Now, if the thing is, now this is another theory. If the evil essence of Rita is still out there and was able to be brought back, is the same for Lord Zed as well as the same for Divatox. Now, when it comes to Lord Zed, I understand y'all probably thinking, well, Zed is in Dino Fury and whatnot, so whatever. But come to find out, with Dino Fear, the reason why Lord Zed is back is because now I forgot this monster's name, but he basically went back in time and pulled Zed out the past when Zed was in his prime. So the Lord Zed that is now in Dino Fury, that's going to be the main villain in Cosmic Fury, is basically the Lord Zed from the beginning of Mighty Morphin Season 2. And so now, with that being said, I guess you could say technically, yes, the essence of Lord Zed is, still out there in the universe. But showrunner as well as executive producer Simon Bennett did confirm that once and always does take place before Down Fury. So that's where this fits into the timeline. Now, come to find out that Billy was basically, he found a way to tap into the morphing grid, and so he was trying to bring Zordon back. Now, there was a flux of energy that came into to the tube, but come to find out, it wasn't Zordon. It was actually the essence of Rita Repulsa. Broke through the tube and actually possessed Alpha 8. And so that's how we get Robo Rita. So all the memories that Rita Repulsa had and stuff like that, that's where all of that came from the evil essence of Rita Repulsa. Now, Min has been training all this time for a whole year and stuff like that. And so we also find out that she does plan to take down Rita Repulsa. And how does she want to do it? By training in the same martial arts style that her mom did, Mantis style, but also trying to become the yellow saber-tooth tiger ranger as well. But because she is out for revenge, of course, the morphing grid is not going to allow her to basically take on those powers. So we also find out what Rita's plan is. She has a plan to basically go back in time to her younger self to let her younger self know this is what's going on now. This is what you need to do. And she legit says, my plan is to go back into the past, let my younger self know what's going on, and to kill you in your sleep before you even become Power Rangers. And now, when she said it, I was less like, and so with with that being said and whatnot, I was like, okay, now we are really getting into the meat of everything. We know what her plan is and stuff like that. So what she does is she is literally going to pretty much everywhere in the Power Ranger continuity. Now, mind you, this is the main continuity and stuff like that. So when it comes to Power Rangers Dino Charge as well as Power Rangers RPM, we know that those are in two different universes. And so what she's doing is that she's collecting Rangers from the main continuity and has actually turned them into the line collection figures and stuff like that. And so she's using her two previous monsters. I think his name is Minotaur and then Snizzard or Snizard. If I'm getting those names wrong, let me know in the comments and whatnot. But they're going around basically collecting the Rangers and whatnot, and so Rita is using their essence and whatnot. I would assume it's a combination of the morphing grid power as well as their life essence to power her time traveling machine. And so, of course, Billy, calls upon Cat as well as Rocky. And so, Rocky, we find out that as an adult, once he left Power Rangers Turbo, or, left passed the torch to Justin, he did, go, of course, come and become a firefighter. And so now I will say that me personally, I do believe that Rocky's character was very very mid. It was just meh. And so now I know that they could have wrote him a little bit better. And of course, Steve Cardenas did basically what he was able to do with what they had him do when it comes to the script. So of course, no hate to Steve Cardenas. I do love him and whatnot. It's just they could have did something a little bit better with the Rocky character. And so of course, uh, come to find out that Billy did tap into the morphing grid, so he made uh, proxy dino powers for the Tyrannosaurus as well as the pterodactyl. And so now, from what I now y'all mention this in the comments or whatever, because I cannot remember exactly what exactly happened to the original dino powers. Now, when it comes to the Zords, I know that the dinosaurs got the upgrade to the Thunderzords, and I know that in season three it was the ninja powers that was, or the ninjetic coins that were destroyed. But I can't remember what happened to the dino powers because I know in Power Rangers in Space when Adam came back to help Carlos, he did have his cracked morpher as well as his cracked power coin. But I just can't remember what happened to the original dino powers. So now I'm thinking, okay, Billy made Proxy Tyrannosaurus and Proxy Pterodactyl powers. Did he have to make Proxy Sabretooth Tiger, Dragon Zord, and Mastodon powers? Because remember, in the timeline, this is right before Dino Fury. So this cannot be back in the past in the 90s and stuff like that when they first became, Rangers. And so because they were teenagers, they were, I think, what, freshmen or sophomore in high school. So this is, years later. But yeah, talk to me in the comments if you guys remember what exactly happened to the dino powers. Now, of course, they're going around the city trying to, protect everybody, all of that stuff. Well, guess what? come to find out, Min wants to come into the battle. So Min goes and went out to the juice bar, the original Ernie's juice bar, and basically, tries to fight the putties. But because the morphin grid hasn't allowed her access, she basically is getting jumped. And so, of course, Rocky and Zach have to come in to save her. And what's funny in everything is the fact that Zach literally broke out with the hip hop keto. I wasn't expecting hip hop keto, but he brought it out. And what made it even more hilarious was that men looked and was like, "Are you breakdance fighting?" And just that. So, of course, Zach and men, have their talk and stuff like that. And so he does, let her know that we don't do this for revenge. We don't do this for fame or anything like that. We do it because it's right. And so where the aspect of grief comes in at again is that uh, Zach as well as Billy, they were trying to, tell men, look, no, this is let the Rangers do this and everything, let us handle this and stuff. You're not ready. But men actually brought up the fact that none of this would have happened if you was the one trying to bring Zordon back. And so now mind you, I'm paraphrasing with that, but she did, kind of, hit below the belt with that, saying, no, this is your fault as to why we're in this predicament now. It's your fault as to why my mom is dead. And so, of course, Billy's sitting there, trying to fight, his guilt and, trying to make everything right. And so, of course, this is where the final climax of the battle comes in at, where they actually go to the moon to Rita's new palace. Now, I'm trying to think. I don't remember Rita's palace ever being destroyed, nor do I remember Zed's palace ever being destroyed. So have those two been up there on the moon this entire time and stuff? So if y'all remember, yeah, let me know and stuff, because I it's been a minute for me. But of course, the battle takes place. Min winds up going with them, and so I do like how they about how they basically brought the battle to Rita. And so of course it was always, back in the day, it was always Rita bringing the fight to the Rangers, but no, this time it's the good guys going into the enemy base to stop the plans and stuff. And so what I also like is that they, was able to use their power weapons and stuff like that. It was so nostalgic seeing their weapons again, and I was just like, yee. But of course, as time started happening, or time started repeating itself, or history started to repeat itself, to where Rita was going to basically try to blast Billy again, but this time Min was the one that took the hit. And so come to find out that she, of course she didn't die, because she realized, no, I need to save my Uncle Billy. And, of course, the saber-tooth tiger morpher was the one that kind of stopped the attack from basically disintegrating her body. Not that the morpher activated, but it was just like right there in her jacket and stuff. So it kind of just, I guess you say, it kind of was like a metal plating or something like that. So um, it was actually very, very cool and nostalgic to hear Barbara Goodson come back as Rita and stuff like that. And so the original voice actor for Alpha 5, I forgot his name. Forgive me for that, but I forgot his name. He comes back to voice Alpha 9 and stuff. And so I believe his name is Richard Horvitz. I believe it is Richard Horvitz. And so Min, of course, she gets the powers of the saber-tooth tiger. The morphin grid acknowledges her finally, and so Zach asks her, "Do you want to do it?" And so, of course, we get our morphin call. And so it was so nice to actually see the new morphing sequence. And this is where my one and only gripe comes in at. is that, of course, they had the Megazord battle. Now, it never was stated if Billy rebuilt the original dinosaurs or not, because if you guys remember in season three, not season three, yeah, actually, yeah, season three, Ninja Quest, um, Rito Revolto, he destroyed the Thunderzords. And so, in season two, the dinosaurs got the Thunder upgrade, became the dinosaurs, I mean, the Thunderzords, excuse me. But then in season three, the Thunderzords were destroyed. And so, hence why they needed the ninja powers. But yet, the dinosaurs are completely back. Now, what I will say is, I do like how. When they call upon the Zords and stuff, it was pretty much the same summoning sequence and stuff like that, literally frame for frame. But also at the same time, another gripe that I had was that it was completely CGI. Now, Simon Bennett did explain that they didn't have enough time or space or money or anything like that to actually get a prop suit made. So of course they had to work with what they got. Now, from that aspect, I do understand, but at the same time, they really could have polished the CGI just a little bit more and whatnot, instead of making it look cheesy the way that it did. But that's my only gripe. And then, of course, them not mentioning where the dinosaurs came from and stuff like that. My theory is that, Billy did, make proxy dinosaurs and rebuilt all the dinosaurs and stuff because of Cranston Tech. And so, of course, the day is saved and everything. And so we actually end on a good note and stuff like that, to where uh, Billy, Zach, as well as Min, they're in Ernie's juice bar talking and stuff like that, while Zach goes and gets, a couple of smoothies. And so Min, as well as Billy, they're talking, they're, having a, heart to heart and stuff like that. So, of course, Min apologizes and everything. And, Billy does admit that he's told himself this 1,000 times, that it is his fault. But we also get a little bit more context in everything of what's going on, because Billy does say he is going to go back in space and everything, and actually asks Min, does she want a souvenir from Miranoid? So I was like, okay, Lost Galaxy reference, cool. And so we also get Aisha and Adam back, but they're, and I guess you could say it's a minor gripe, because they have such a very small role in everything, that they are part of a group known as SPA. Now, canon wise, in Once and Always canon wise, we are 2 years away from SPD being a thing. And so we would kind of assume that SPA is either an off branch of SPD, or SPD is an off branch of SPA. And so, with that, I just wish that we would have got just a little bit of a bigger role in everything with Adam as well as Aisha. And then also another thing that I've noticed, it was an Easter egg and stuff, was Balk's skull. There was a banner. I didn't get a chance to read exactly what the banner said, but it was, the two of them. And so I was like, okay, I like that little Easter egg and stuff like that. But I do like exactly what they did with Once and Always. I love, all the Easter eggs that they laid out, all the, everything, fits into the timeline and stuff. Now, we also have the question, is this going to tie into Power Rangers Cosmic Fury? Because it is space themed. Billy did mention he is going into space. So, is this is Once and Always going to be somewhat of a tie-in and stuff? I would love to hear you guys' theories on, what the future might hold and stuff. But I also want to, leave the comment section open for discussion. What do you guys think of Once and Always? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? What did you love about it? And everything. What were some of your dislikes? Let's have this discussion in the comments. I'm going to end this video here. This has been your boy, Scriv Kid, and I will see you guys next week.